Hello for the 20th week of the year. Just the Gospel, Matthew 15:21 to 28. You know, there are some statements or actions of Jesus that I just don't like. You know, when he curses the fig tree in Matthew 21. Here's what it says. When he was going back to the city in the morning, he was hungry. Seeing a fig tree by the road, he went over to it and found nothing on it except leaves. And he said to it, "May no fruit ever come from you again." And immediately the fig tree withered. When the disciples saw this, they were amazed and said, "How was it that the fig tree withered immediately?" Poor fig tree. Or another one of his stories, one of his parables, when he had that one guy, poor sucker, he worked all day and he got a day's pay. And then the lucky guy works just 1 hour and he gets the full day's pay. I feel sorry for the guy who worked all day in the heat. How about you? And then today, it seems like he calls this woman a dog. Well, I'm sure that the reason for all this is my misunderstandings or prejudices in growing up listening to these stories. So I'd like to just look at today's reading a little closer. The Canaanite woman. She was a foreigner, not a Jew, but a Gentile. And Jews and Gentiles don't associate well. And Jesus is there, and she tries to get a favor out of Jesus for her daughter, not just for herself, but for her daughter, who was tormented. And Jesus seemingly paid no attention to her. He didn't say a word. Well, the disciples said a few words. "Get rid of her. She's bugging us." Jesus, you know, a Jew, a good Jew, and wanted to be a good Jew, and he felt as though he came for the Jewish people and for the lost Jews. Not for Canaanite women, not for foreigners, but for the Jews and the lost Jews. Well, at any rate, that didn't stop her. She wanted his favor, and she kept calling for Jesus. And, you know, "Lord, help me." And then the zinger, the part I really don't like. Jesus says to the woman, "It is not right to take the food of the children and throw it to the dogs." Really? The children were the Jewish people. And the food for the children was for the Jews and the lost Jews, not to foreigners. And so he uses this analogy with the dogs. The food is for the children, not the dogs. Well, then comes the clever statement of the woman. "Please, Lord, for even the dogs eat the scraps that fall from the table of their master." She caught on very well of what he was talking about for the Jews and the lost Jews. And she caught on very well and very cleverly said, "Well, even the dogs that you insinuate, they get some food from the table of the master." Jesus was amazed. "Great faith, woman. Your request or favor is granted." And her daughter was cured. But looking at that, and my misunderstanding, or perhaps yours, as far as the food of Jesus was for the Jews primarily and first off. And it was for the lost Jews primarily and first off. But the whole message of Jesus was not just the Jews, it was also for the lost Jews, or, Hagar, Abraham and his wife, or his servant Hagar had Ishmael. The whole Islam religion is founded on. And Abraham and Sarah and Isaac and the whole Jewish religion is founded on. That's two big groups. And St. Paul, taking the message of Jesus and his revelation, inspiration, or insight that he got on the road to Damascus, that this is for the Jews and the Gentiles and all people. In due time, our church, founded by Jesus Christ, is predominantly a Gentile church. And the message is for all, every, Catholic, universal, everybody. Isn't that amazing? The scraps that fell from the Master has become the food for all. Even this Canaanite woman, even that atheistic man, even that terroristic person, even that person who just says, I can't believe. The message is for all. And he died for all. That's a far cry from calling this woman a dog. Have a good day.